Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing an emerging vintage classic that is already collectible. This is the Rolex Oyster Perptial GMT Master II, the 16760, also known as the Sophia Loren. The timepiece, the first true dual time, some might even say triple time GMT Master II, was a model that debuted back in 1983, and it marked a whole bunch of firsts for this model. It was the first of the Coke bezels, and it was only ever made with the Coke bezel. It was the first to feature a sapphire crystal on the steel model. It was the first to feature a true dual time functionality, and the watch has an important historical chapter in the Rolex Book of Heritage, as it is a short-lived transitional Rolex variant from the 1980s, produced only from 1983 to early 1988. This watch, with a 9.6 million serial number, is approximately early 1988. On my 16cm circumference wrist, it wears modern. The timepiece, 40 millimeters in diameter, is easy to accommodate, and true to its reputation, it is a little bit thicker than a standard GMT Master II, 12.9 millimeters. It's thicker than a GMT Master or a Master II for that matter. And the timepiece, from lug to lug, wearing fairly true at 47.8 millimeters, as there is no appreciable projection of the pivoted end link bracelet beyond the lugs. So that is the true distance across the wrist, and I can endorse this watch for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. The bracelet is a 78360 with 501B end links, and I'll get a little bit closer so you can see that to good advantage. The bracelet is in excellent condition. Although it is a hollow center link Rolex bracelet with hollow end links, it doesn't have undue amounts of stretch to it. It retains almost all of its structural integrity. It has a nostalgic Rolex rattle, but it doesn't feel that it's been gouged, stretched, or in any way distended. You can see that the removable links are fixed by screws, as they've always been. Rolex always good about bracelet ergonomics, giving you plenty of ventilation. You can see the daylight through the links on the underside. The clasp, as you can see, bump, 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 in excellent condition internally. The interior, very clean and in excellent condition. And the exterior, as you can see, with superb definition about the Rolex stamped crown, all 5 points clearly defined, along with the peaks of the coronet. You can see that there are some marks on this watch. We opted not to refinish it in any way, as we regard the original metal as more valuable than the beauty of a freshly polished or satinated case. Most vintage collectors who are into a watch like this want the original material, which is why you can see there are visible marks on the lugs, and we kept them all intact. You can also see that there's a little bit of a dent on the profile of the 11 o'clock lug, so I want to make sure I show everything as honestly as possible. This is a vintage watch, no two are exactly alike, and I want you to know exactly what you're getting. Now you can see, because we haven't refinished this case, and it's been largely spared the refinisher's wheel in its life, there's no projection of the spring bars through the ends of the lugs, and there's even a pronounced factory bevel remaining in the profiles of the lugs themselves, and you can see that to good advantage from this angle. It's notably pronounced on the two lugs at 11 and 1 o'clock. So you have all of the original metal. You also have a watch that is honest and well preserved inside and out. You have the Coke bezel, which I suspect might be a factory replacement insert, but it is Rolex factory part, and it is correct to the model. This was the beginning of the Coke bezel. It was debuted on the Sophia Loren, the 760, and although it became a semi-permanent part of the collection, we haven't seen one since the arrival of the super cases, but I think it'll be back. It was distinctive of this model, as you'll only ever see the 16760 with the Coke bezel, and it remains a bidirectional rotating aviator style bezel. What changed with this model was the arrival of caliber 3085, which is a true dual time, allowing you, as you can see, to change the date forward or backwards as you cross the international date line, and set that 12-hour hand independently of the 24-hour hand. This was important because from the original in 1954 right up to the first of these in 1983, the only way to actually calculate a second time zone on your Rolex GMT was to use the bezel and actually rotate the bezel, set the watch to Greenwich Mean Time. You're a pilot, you're going to use the GMT offset of your airport or port of destination, and then you're going to rotate the bezel and find the local time using the bezel. Well, now, because you have that independent 12-hour hand, if you set that second 24-hour hand to Greenwich Mean Time, you can temporarily calculate 3 time zones. These watches were only made with gloss dials, which means they had white gold hands, white gold indices. They are tritium. Every one made was tritium, and this one is original tritium, hands and dial. They were only made with the gloss dial. There were 2 different types of gloss dial. From about 1984 on, they featured this script, Oyster perpetual date. Earlier examples made in early 1984 and 1983 will not say date. So if you see some variation when researching these online, that's why. The movement, the revolutionary caliber 3085, was a 27 jewel automatic with a 42 to 45 hour power reserve. It's a modern beat rate, 28.8. It was the first GMT with the second time zone that could be set independently. It features a free-sprung balance architecture adjusted in 5 positions with a handmade Breguet overcoil hairspring, the better to help it earn a COSC chronometer certification. It was then, and it remains now, 100 meters water resistant. These watches are still modern enough that you can wear them like modern Rolex timepieces, and the movement is still very accurate, as these easily retain their COSC chops, being adjustable to 1 second a day with very little sophistication from your watchmaker. Inside and out, immense integrity here. A product that was built well and remains superb in the year 2019, albeit today a truly collectible transitional reference Rolex. You can see this GMT Master 2 Sophia Loren and make it yours on the watch box.